Today's reading is from Romans 8:15-17. For you did not receive a spirit that makes you a slave again to fear, but you received the spirit of sonship, and by him we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. Now, if we are children, then we are heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ, if indeed we share in his sufferings, in order that we may also share in his glory. True Mother, 1977, 5-3, Belvedere Training Center. During the growth period, I was much worried about reaching perfection, but now that the period has ended and I have reached the standard desired by heaven, I look back upon the time and realize that all my memories of hardships have been transformed into ones of joy. I was always able to have profound dialogues and exchanges with True Father. In other words, between True Father and I, there was endless topics of conversations and infinite understandings. We held increasing dialogues with complete trust in one another, without having to say much words. True Father and I understood each other's situations perfectly. This was because the circumstances True Father passed through were identical to the path I had trodden. So much so that I was almost uncanny. True Father and I had an insightful understanding of the one common purpose, for which we endured everything with indomitable faith and fought against all hardships. And we felt triumphant because we have reached the standard of perfection where Satan cannot invade us in any way. This feeling of triumph we feel when True Father and I look at each other is a source of infinite consolation and comfort to me. There is one more thing I want to say to you. Through many experiences with God, I came to learn a great deal about how he accomplishes the will. In my life, I truly have traveled to both heaven and hell. Aju.
We are going to Los Angeles with around 55 members from our church, mostly young members. And I think it is going to be really good. And I really want to thank all of you, brothers and sisters who are going there, sending your children, and also supporting us in many ways with your prayers, with your donations, and in many ways you all are supporting. And I want to thank you so much for that. And also I want to thank our youth ministry and also our CARP for leading this and congratulate them. Thank you. Thank you for organizing. Yesterday, how many of you were here for the Pastors Forum yesterday? Prayer breakfast. Okay, yeah, it was really, really very good. I want to congratulate all of our ACLC team. They did a really good job. We had a new pastor yesterday, Pastor Reverend Joel Farley, and he's from Newark, and he gave a wonderful sermon. And when he started, he really sang a nice song, and I was kind of so jealous. And I thought, oh, I want to do like that. I want to sing a song. I think, look like Mr. Francisco, you don't know me. And even after I stay in your home 8 years, yeah, I wish I can do it right away. Few weeks ago, last month, we were going to Famicon, me, Tomomi, and Mr. Bean was with me. Then he trained me voice. Oh, Manoj, this is the way you should sing. And then he was showing me how to practice voice like that. Then he said, you have to breathe into your stomach and into your belly, and then practice this over and over. Actually, I was practicing, so my sound is much better now. Then one day, give me a clap. Then a couple of weeks ago, one Sunday evening, around later, my daughter wanted to go to Mitsuwa to buy some ramen or things like that. Then while we are driving, I was telling them, hey, Anna, do you know that? Do you know how to practice, make your sound really nice? Mr. Bean told me how to do it. And then I show her, this is the way you should do. And then she, Appa, everyone knows that. And then she also did with me a little bit. And then she kind of stopped. I was so excited. I was continuing. Then after a few minutes, she asked me, Appa, can you stop? then, then I told her, yeah, this is really good. I want to do. She told me, but my ears are hurting. You're hurting my ears. Then I told you. Then she said, you sound like a donkey singing, and that's why you're really hurting my ears. Then I told her, but you told me I got better, that's why I'm singing. Then she said, yeah, you got better, now you're like a donkey. And she was even saying to me that I was worse than a donkey before my sound, and now can you stop singing? And I didn't even sing, I was just practicing. Anyway, I thought that was really cute. She was telling me the truth. And now, Mr. Francisco, do you want me to try? Okay. At the end, when everyone, when we want to finish everything, people need to go out, then I sing. That help everyone to go out quick. Anyway, just thought it was funny. That's why I wanted to share with you. Today is that Bible passage we read. I really like that passage a lot. It is talking about, in that passage, it was a letter to Romans. Apostle Paul is talking to those new Christians new Christians in Rome, talking about, what kind of blessing they have received from God. It's saying that by receiving Holy Spirit, by receiving the Spirit, you change yourself from being a slave, and now you have become a child of God. Now, I believe that was something really new for them, because in the Old Testament understanding about God and relationship between humanity and God was a relationship between a master and a slave, or a master and his workers. And even in New Testament also we can see that in many passages we talk about workers for God and things like that. But here Apostle Paul very clearly saying that you did not receive a spirit that makes you a slave again to fear. Your relationship with God is not a relationship of fearfulness. You don't need to be afraid of God anymore. It is your Father. You call him. You have received the spirit of sonship. And I would add a spirit of daughtership too. And you call him Abba, which means Father. Look like they were Koreans. Abba, it's the Korean. And that kind of relationship is the relationship Jesus brought to people at that time. And also it says, now, if we are children, we are the heirs of God. Aren't our children our heirs? Like if you own something, if you have some money in your bank account and you save up for many years, who do you want to give? To your children. And here it is saying, we are heirs, heirs of God, and co-heirs with Christ. Why we are co-heirs with Christ? Because Christ was the person, Jesus was the one person who started calling God as Father. Before that, no one could call Jesus Father. And Jesus restored that position, that relationship between God and humanity. And that's why we are the co-owners. We are the co-heirs of that position Jesus inherited. And for us to inherit that, we have to stand together with Jesus. We have to, indeed, it says, indeed, we shared in his sufferings in order that we may also share in his glory. That's what Apostle Paul is saying. You have to understand what kind of life he went through in order to restore this. And then when you understand him, when you understand Jesus, you are going to be a part of Jesus, what Jesus restored for us. That is the sonship and daughtership of God. And that's what Apostle Paul talked to Romans. When you think about an heir, it's not only in family settings, even in other settings also you can see sometimes someone else called as an heir of another person. And what do you think when you think about an heir or someone inheriting a position from another person? What do you think they need to have? Any qualities they need to have? What is that? Anyone want to share something? Imagine you are going to inherit a position of a company. You are going to be the CEO of a company. What do you need to know? Somebody is giving you that position. One CEO really like you, then he's okay. Can you take over this company? What do you think you need to know? What's that? Yeah, how to run the company. And what else? If somebody called you just now and saying that, I have a big company, do you want to take over? Can you become the next CEO or next owner of the company? What do you do? What's that? No, thank you. No, thank you. That's a good answer. Anyone else? What's that? Training for what? Yeah. Don't you want to know what is that company doing? If they are selling drugs, do you want to do that? Do you want to inherit that? In that case, no would be the best answer. No? Yeah, you need to know what they are doing. And then you need to know how to run a company. And also you need to know really why this person want me to run. Many times people ask that question. So in order to be, like many times in the olden days, like nowadays, it's like if you have, like let's say 2 children, usually parents divide among them and give it to them. And usually most of them kind of inherit equal rights. But in the olden days, it was always one son inherit the entire property many times. And most of the time, it was the eldest son. And some cases, it may not be the eldest son, but some cases it is the son who understands parents better or the best. And also the son who is capable to take care of the things, capable of taking care of other people and everyone. That is the way many times someone want to bequeath something to a new person. And here, in case of Jesus and God, it says that you are the heir of God, but you need to understand what Jesus was doing, what kind of suffering he went through in order to restore that position. Then you can stand together with him as the co-heirs of God. The people who truly, truly inherit the blessing of God, inherit the position of God. And that's what sons and daughters would do. And fast forward here right now, listening to that passage from True Mother, it looks like a testimony True Mother given in front of our members. Maybe some of you were there that time. In 1977, True Mother talking about going through a stage of immense difficulty, immense suffering, but going towards a goal, but saying that in order to reach certain perfection, and she had to go through a lot, and then it looks like she was acknowledged as a person who reached the standard of heaven. And then she also continues saying that True Father and I sitting together and talking about that, and we can understand each other very well because he also went through that kind of experiences a lot. And we both can understand each other well because the experiences we had were very, very similar. And it is saying, True Father and I had an insightful understanding of one common purpose, for which we endured everything with indomitable faith and fought against all hardships, and we feel triumphant because we have reached the standard of perfection where Satan cannot invade us in any way. That is, they did this together, and True Father and True Mother can understand each other because they went through a path very similar to each other, and they support each other. That's why they can even feel that no one else can take away because it's ours. And we did this. And Satan cannot accuse us anymore. And also, think about the blessing we have received. Through Jesus, they received a blessing in the position of son. They received a sonship of God through Jesus. And of course, daughtership too. In all those documents, they always talk about son only. And also, here, when we look at the situation now, we weren't just receiving sonship or daughtership. And true parents put us together, and true parents bless us to be equal to God and give us, because God has given to us that particular position wasn't restored, and equal to God as co-creators. And that's what God has given to us through our true parents. And true parents restored that for us. And here it was, True Mother is saying, they had to go through immense difficulties in order to reach to that standard and then share that with us. And do we understand what kind of difficulty they went through? I don't think any of us understand fully well. But same time, I also acknowledge that You know, the time, depending on the time you join with true parents, you understand it very, some of you who join with the true parents, much earlier than some of us, you can understand probably in a deeper way. And some of the things, few months ago, I think last year when I was visiting Dr. Ang and Mrs. Ang, Mrs. Ang showed me an album, actually a box with so many pictures in that. She was taking one by one and showing us. And I saw them very young people, and in 60s. In their, even recently I was looking into their blessing pictures and everything during their 50th anniversary time. And many times when I see these pictures, I think about this way. Wow, they joined that time. From since then, they give their whole life for God and true parents. Few days ago, I was with Mr. Glass, and he showed me some of the pictures, and his pictures with few more hairs on him. And also I saw I was telling Mr. Tyndall yesterday, I saw a slimmer you in his pictures, very slim young boy. I saw Mr. Alexander, very slim, with a happy face. Still you have that happy face. What I'm saying is that you all went through an amazing experience which no one can experience right now. There is no way anyone can experience that right now. Even if you are in a mission country right now, even if you are serving a mission anywhere in this world, you won't be able to experience what many of our elder members experienced in 60s, 70s, and 80s, and during that time. But what I'm saying is that by them going through those experiences, I felt like what Apostle Paul was telling to those Romans, saying that you have to stand together with Jesus in order for you to claim the glory, in order for you to be the co-owners of that glory Jesus restored for us. And I do believe that that is the responsibility we all have as the co-heirs, as the heirs of God. No one can inherit anything just without any responsibility. As children able to inherit because of their relationship, because of their oneness, because they are able to fulfill responsibilities afterwards. And that relationship cannot come just like that. And here, I believe many of our elders, I know many of you were leaders in many, many ways, and missionaries in different parts of America and different parts of the world. And a few weeks ago, here when we had a blessing ceremony, it was Mr. Ruben Olgado's whole lineage there. And he raised some members in Philippines, and then they came here, and they witnessed people, and I think most of them here. I was so surprised to see that. But by doing so, we are really standing together with true parents. But same time, I'm telling you, the experiences you went through, we can't triplicate or duplicate right now. But also last week, Mr. Sato's memorial service time, I could see amazing things they did, and we can learn right now from them. But there's no way we can do it right now. A few weeks ago when we decided, I was discussing with Yasutaka Tomomi and Takino-san about the CARP rally, CARP program in Los Angeles. The reason why I strongly felt that we have to go there, we have to try to bring our maximum number of youngsters there, was for them to go and experience what true parents are doing right now. It may not be the same thing as 40 and 50 years back, but I feel when you are really going there, standing together with true parents, you can really say that I'm able to listen to true parents directly. What they are doing, I'm supporting them, what they are doing right now. And this is the only thing we can experience right now. And in future, no one else can experience even this. And so every bit of time we can have with true parents, we can support their vision, we can invest in ourselves to achieve that. By doing those things, we are truly becoming one with our true parents. And that means we are becoming one with our heavenly parent, and we are becoming the heirs of heavenly parent. And here, when we go there, please don't think that you all have to go there to be one with true parents. That's not the thing I'm talking about. I even told some of our members, please don't go now, because based on their situation, I felt they don't need to take a credit card loan and go there. No, that's not the thing I'm talking about. I'm really talking about the youngsters who may not have any experience with the true parents in the past. And that's what I'm talking about. And also, I feel like in order to be an heir, I mentioned that we need to understand the vision. And what is that vision true parents trying to achieve? Even now, what they are achieving, if I'm trying to put it together in a very condensed words, I can say that they are trying to establish a peaceful world based on families. They are not trying to kill all people they think bad and then the rest of us to live in peace. No. They are trying to create God-centered families, and through that, they believe through that we will be able to have lasting peace in this world. And when you say that, we really need to own that, and by doing that, a few weeks ago, in a conversation between me and Rani, it came to us that, somehow I was talking about peace. Then she said, you shouldn't just say that word peace. It's a very meaningful word. And I don't remember the exact reason why we talk about that. But that kind of struck me, saying that, when we think about these words we use in our church, or everyone use in the world, peace, forgiveness, compassion, living for the sake of others, and these things, many times we just use it without even thinking, what does it really mean? I felt like, when we promise to God that we are your children, we claim that we are happily sitting there as God's children, we need to understand what God really means by saying peace. Are we really able to have that peaceful life in my own life? Am I really able to understand the deepness of that? Am I able to forgive another person completely? If I can't forgive, then how can I even claim to God that I'm a son of you, I'm a daughter of you? And in order to do that, we have to have really true forgiveness in our life. For our children, We have to show really an example as what is really the parenting means. They have to see God in our life, in our personal relationship, the way we deal other people. They have to see God in us. If they can't see God in our life, there's no way they can see God anywhere else in the world. Even if they go to all kind of temples, churches, and everywhere, they wouldn't be able to see that. They have to see that in our relationships. And we have to be able to show everyone that what is really forgiveness means, what is really compassion means. And these are meaningful words. Compassion means we are standing together with someone and sharing their pain by hoping that I can heal you. I want to heal you. How much are we doing that? And let us truly try to fulfill that only when we are truly standing together with God and true parents. When we practice that in our life, that's where we are really experiencing God, experiencing true parents in our life. Then we become the co-heirs of God with true parents. We become the co-owners of the providence with true parents, with God. And that's what we want to do. And I know also, I believe that we should not think like there is no way I can experience true parents anymore, or true parents the way our elder generation could experience. You know, each and every bit of time you can have with an elder member. Sometimes, it may be your own parents for young members. And listen to their experiences, and listen to what they went through, and understand how they really stood with true parents, stood with God, and made us into this foundation. And when we are standing together with them, we are again truly becoming part of our God, true parents, part of God's heavenly providence. And our true mother is still going around the world in order to share her vision and their vision, and in order to share God's vision about a peaceful world. And let us become true heirs of God by taking our own responsibility, by standing up against the evils of the world, and by stubbornly be a good person, by being a person of forgiveness, a person of love. And these are not just words we are just saying. You remember in second commandment, God said to us, do not use my name in vain. It didn't say my name. No? Do not say, can someone say that? Second commandment, I think I have. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. So that's why we say, don't say the name, say God just like that. But we also say God is love. What does that mean? Do not use that word also in vain. So use that with meaning and with feeling, and with your whole feeling. You have to really own that. And then we become the proud owners of providence, proud children who can inherit true parents' legacy. And that's what I want to encourage all of you this week, while our true mother is coming to America, to share their vision again with a whole group of people. Thousands of people are going to listen to them. And they also not only listen to true parents, they also look around to see true parents' followers. people who are with true parents. And we are the ones who really make true parents true parents. If we don't do, true parents cannot continue. When you think about a family, who makes a family a lineage? The people who inherit and then make it better, then hand over to the next generation. And that's where we are in that position right now. We inherited something from God and true parents. And we have to make it better. And if we don't practice that fully well, if we don't really own that fully well, we can't pass that same thing or even a better thing. And a few months ago, one time, I remember while I was in a national program, someone suggested that, one young person suggested we should not use living for the sake of others, that saying. And then that reason was that it becomes a meaningless word. Meaningless saying, because people who just over and over say it and no one really think what even they are saying, no one really practice that. And I believe there is certain truth in that. And let us really, true parents gave this saying to us because we should demonstrate and we should show to it, not just to say. Through our life, we can show that to everyone. Let us do that. That is the vision of true parents. And by demonstrating that in our life, we are truly standing together with true parents. Then only we can become the co-owners of the providence and the co-creators with God. And that is the vision God is trying to establish in this world. Remember in that one of that song in the opening song, the heart of the Father, and that heart is going on for thousands of years. God is looking for people where God can bequeath everything God has. And in order to receive that, we have to be really ready. And this is not just to receive a packet. It's not a packet to receive and give to someone. But this is a lifestyle God wants to bequeath to us. Our true parents demonstrated that for us. We are receiving that. We are receiving that inheritance, and to make it better, or even the best way we can, and then give it to the next generation. It may be our children. It may be other people around us. It may be anyone in the world, but let us do that. When we do that, we are truly, truly healing God's heart, and we are making God happy. How happy we as parents when we see our children do something we want them to do. And that way, let us make our true parents happy. And please pray that while many of our young members are with True Mother in Los Angeles, please pray for them. Pray for them that they understand the heart of true parents completely. They inherit something they can really cherish in their whole life and pass on to the next generations. And that way, we really make our true parents proud parents, and we really make our God a proud Father, and we can truly become one family, one whole family, centered on our true parents and God. And that's what I'm hoping for this. We as a community, we will uphold and we will rally together with God. No matter where you are, you may be here, we are next week. Some of us will be in West Coast, but doesn't matter where you are physically. When you have that oneness with God, oneness with true parents, you are becoming a co-creator with God. And thank you once again. Thank you so much for all the support you are giving with all your life for God's providence. In many ways, you are investing completely. And thank you so much. I appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you.